Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, March 17. Periodic audits of the island's COVID-19 implementation program have uncovered 3 incidents of missing or damaged AstraZeneca vaccines. The built-in audit component of the program resulted in the launch of an investigation into Tuesday's revelation that a vial with 10 doses of vaccine had gone missing. The incident occurred at a vaccination site at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. The vial was discovered to be missing after standard checks were carried out during the vaccination process. A review of CCTV footage as well as the policies and procedures at the site will be conducted. As part of the investigation, several Western Regional Health Authority staff members who were assigned to the vaccination site have been reassigned pending the outcome of the probe. And the Ministry of Health and Wellness is also reviewing other instances where vaccines have been damaged. That includes 6 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccines, which accidentally fell from the hand of a worker employed to the Lucy Health Center. Another 8 doses fell and broke from a cold storage container that was on a table which collapsed at a vaccination site in Westmoreland.
The vaccine plan does include an audit because we want to track where the vaccines go, how much of it is wasted, and of course that the right people get it, and the institution in terms of throughput are efficient, what changes to make, and so on. So an audit is not necessarily intended to determine who is deviant. It's also a management tool utilized to assess the efficiency of delivery and to adjust where necessary.
Parliamentarians and senior government officials 60 years and older have begun receiving their COVID-19 vaccine. The process began on Tuesday at the Office of the Prime Minister and involved cabinet ministers as well as other senior government officials. Among the persons to be inoculated were Ministers Audley Shaw and Everald Warmington, as well as Member of Parliament Mike Henry. The Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, Richard Biles, and Chief of State Protocol Ambassador Sandra Grant Griffiths also received their first of 2 jabs. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said the move to vaccinate public officials in the vulnerable age group is critical due to the high level of physical interaction required by their portfolio.
We need our leaders at the level of the communities to provide leadership without the risk of exposure to the virus. And they represent, by virtue of age, also a vulnerable group.
The government has inked an agreement with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, for the deployment of a vaccination management system software. A registration and scheduling model is also a part of the software, which will become operational in April. At Tuesday's signing ceremony, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said the platform will make registering for vaccines seamless. Persons will be able to make appointments on the websites of the Ministry of Health and Wellness and regional health authorities, or call 888-1-LOVE.
Many persons have been asking about this, and we have mentioned it. You'll hear more about it in the days to come, and you will see the manifestations of it in terms of the efficiency of transaction time and cost.
With sufficient capacity and resources, and supported by the vaccine rollout, UNICEF is confident that life can start to return to normal for people in Jamaica, and especially for Jamaican children.
As part of its $11 million support to the program, the private sector vaccination initiative handed over 400 tablet computers and other electronic devices that will be used at vaccination sites across the island.
The system will be installed on the devices prior to delivery. And the initiative will also facilitate the training of personnel on the use of the platform.
14,650 persons, or 84% of the priority group targeted for Week 1 of the island's vaccination program, have received their doses. The figure, which covers the period March 10 to 15, was revealed by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dunstan Bryan. Mr. Bryan was speaking during Tuesday's Joint Select Committee on the COVID-19 pandemic in Gordon House. He said of the 14,650 persons vaccinated, 9,781 were healthcare workers. The elderly numbered 1,346, while the remaining 3,523 persons were members of the security forces.
It's 30% of the target for month 1, and we have vaccinated 1% of the target for year 1, which is 65% of the population. When we look at the planned versus actual, we are recognizing that overall we are averaging at about 84% of the plan versus actual. So we are seeing we're on some days we are ahead of target, and on other days we are at target.
Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Aubin Hill, is urging Jamaicans to assist government in conserving our potable water supply. His plea follows yesterday's global observation of World Water Day, which is observed annually to advocate for the sustainable management of freshwater resources. The minister, while speaking at the World Water Day Virtual Forum Tuesday, said government continues to be actively engaged in formulating strategies to protect and expand the availability of the country's potable water supply.
The government of Jamaica is working hard to increase water access. I urge you all to play your part and be water smart by using only what you need, conserving when you can, and assist the government to protect and preserve our precious water resources.
Senator Hill also says government is moving ahead with its national water sector policy and implementation plan, which will ensure that all Jamaicans have access to potable water by 2030. And finally, Jamaicans have until March 31 to register for the next voters list, which is to be published on May 31. Persons intending to have their name added to the voters list must apply in person at any electoral office of Jamaica constituency office. Individuals who register after March 31 will be added to the November 30 list. Electors who meet the March 31 deadline should expect to receive the newly designed voter identification card by mid-June. To register for a voter ID, applicants will be asked to fill out a form as well as have their photograph and fingerprints taken. Each applicant's residence must be verified to complete the registration process. Persons who are already on the voters list should not reapply. However, if there's been a change of residence, electors are asked to visit the constituency office in the current location to have their registration transferred. Visitors to the Electoral Office of Jamaica offices are required to wear a mask, sanitize upon entering the office, and observe physical distancing in line with the state's COVID-19 protocols. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.